Come check out some cool upgrades for your Knight Armiger.
Spiky bits.
Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Rob Bear, and today we are checking out some 3D upgrade parts for the Knight Armiger. We've been talking about shapeways a lot here on the channel. It didn't just start out recently. We've been doing it for years, and we started with these type of upgrades right here for the Knight. Shane over at Gadgets Plus has a ton of designs for the regular Knight and now the Armiger, and he's got even more since he sent me these. And I'm like, looking at his site, I'm so jealous. I got hungry eyes. I'm like, oh man, this thing's so cool and this thing's so cool. I know when the new Knight book comes out, I'm gonna be like, I want them all. But he sent these over for us to share with you guys, so that's what we're gonna do. So if you haven't seen Shapeways, here it is right here. So first up, this is the site, Gadgets Plus. You can tell because, hey, look at those upgrade Knights. You're probably like, wait a minute, I've seen this one before. Yep, this is the one we helped share in the past. Of course, there was a Custodian one that we also shared this one. This isn't ours. We painted one up and did a giveaway for it on Twitch. So Gadgets Plus, tons of items right here, 72 items in this store currently. And then here is some of the new mini Knights weapons right here: siege saw, rock drill, caliper manipulator, and then of course some of the stuff that you just saw there a few seconds ago, and that really cool chain weapon as well. So we're gonna gather these things up and take a closer look. So here they are in the flesh. Obviously we've got the chain sword or the chain weapon, the frost cannon weapon as well, that I guess you could use as the melta, the two shoulder pads, the armor harness for the head and the wolf head itself, and then this piece actually goes right here, so you can magnetize this if you want, or just glue it down and you slot in the little thing. But we've already magnetized everything. Actually it goes, so it's designed to go over top of this with that piece right there. But that piece is actually the same size as a magnet, which I don't have handy, but we will be doing a how to magnetize video for these here in the near future, and we will get you on board with how that all goes together. Now the feet also come with the little shin pads, which I seem to have misplaced here, unfortunately, but I think you can tell these feet definitely look way better than the little three-prong kind of towel toes that came with this deal here. So I automatically prefer these right off the bat, no matter what flavor of Knight you're kind of trying to make. And then as far as the the parts themselves go, there is a little bit of print lines in here, but Shapeways has the good quality printers there. This isn't the stuff that you're gonna have on your desktop. These are units the size of cars and large appliances and stuff. So as far as that goes, you're not going to get the same quality. Now you may see print lines, but sometimes they are on the inside of the piece. If you're concerned with them, for the most part, I haven't had any issues. Once you prime this, they generally tend to go away. You can use Gesso brush on primer if it starts to bug you, but that stuff, it's semi-expensive and it's a little smelly. But other than that, you could use it. This stuff will not respond well to the vapor trick, this particular material here. Don't know exactly why, but it just doesn't. I've already tried it. Unfortunately, it doesn't work so well there. But other than that, I think it's designed very well. Like, the detail's great. Everything lines up. Like, I was just kind of slotting things together real quick just to see, we're about to put it all together. But you can see here that everything is beautifully laid out. And the details on par, of course, with something that you would expect. And when you're paying good money for these 3D upgrade parts, I know it's kind of hard to see the detail there. So that's why it's good to always see it on the website. But once you start taking a closer look, you can see that it's really there. Like, the teeth are there. There's little cuts and everything, and divots and rivets, and all of the wiring's done very well. And then like on the shoulder pads, you've got the pack markings right there, so you don't even have to paint them on if you don't want to. And that Viking kind of longboat style across the top. So very good stuff. We're going to put it all together and show it to you how it looks assembled. And here he is. We did a little bit of magnet work on this, and I'm not too happy with the exposed magnet there, so we're probably going to tighten that up a little bit. But for this video, we're showcasing the parts themselves. It'll work just fine. Now you can see little blue spots right there. I used some poster tack just to get it to stick on because all this is going to be painted a wolf color, and that's why we kept things like the armor plates, and which I don't have handy. I put those in the bag, but there's armor plates and thigh plates right there as well that we'll paint all together with most of these 3D printed weapons too. So it's great that we kept those off, but these will be metal. See, I'm kind of planning ahead for painting it, but also kind of pre-assembling it for you guys too. And you can see everything is to scale. Everything works just fine. It all lines up beautifully. You know, we did a little bit of magnetization, like I said we were going to. We'll have a separate video on that here shortly, especially with all the new Knight stuff coming out. But once you start magnetizing it and really getting all these things in here, they move around. And this thing right here, I don't think you have to worry about too much once you get it primed. It'll just kind of turn, and I suppose you could glue it down if you wanted to, but I don't think it's that much of a problem unless you just bump it like I just did right there. But other than that, I think it looks great. This it would be very hard once we get paint on this to tell that it's any different from, you know, just a basic plastic kit. Of course, you will be able to tell because it's more detailed. But as far as that goes, I mean, take a look at the shoulder pads. Like, this is the shoulder pad. This is actually seems to be more detailed from the trim up to the stuff across the top there. This just seems a little clunky, and this seems a little bit more refined and has even the one over here that's just basic, right? Like, well, they're both, it looks like they're both identical. So it's just got all that open area, but the same thing here, it just seems bigger and clunkier. You know, you're talking about two different materials, yes, but I just prefer the look of this. And, you know, we might see new shoulder pads coming out soon for this as well. Now let's break down the rules on this bad boy and see what we can use, you know, these new upgrade parts for. So the Armigers are 12 power levels. They're basically a half a knight in pretty much every every rule, form, and function, right down to the damage they do for the most part. I mean, I didn't compare the wounds, but that would make sense too, I suppose. So their weapon skill and ballistic skills depending on how much damage they have taken. Their base price is 223, which seems to be right off the cuff about half of a knight, right? You have to have a heavy stubber, so you're going to be 227, or you can sub it out for a melta, which would be, I guess, 240, right? So stubber, melta, thermal spear is your multi-melta equivalent, which you could use, you know, this little frosty weapon right there for. And that's just your 30-inch range, assault D3 shots, strength 8, neg 4, D6 damage if they're within half. You can roll 2 dice for this and discard the lowest result. And then, of course, the Reaper Chain Cleaver, which this little chain axe thing makes a great one for. That is melee attack times 2 strength, which is going to get you up to 12, and neg 3 with D damage of 3, and that's 4 attacks right there with that as well. You can field these as vehicle squadrons, so that probably helps out with the new rule of 3 that's been so much rumored coming up in the new FAQ, but we'll see if that hits. But either way, they seem to be future proof, at least for this first FAQ. And it does have 5-up invulnerable attack against shooting, doesn't have the ion shield per se, but it does have that little bonus right there. Now, big thing here, of course, you probably already heard it, these guys can get bogged down in combat where their bigger brothers perhaps can't. So you just got to be cognizant of that. So it's almost like a layered kind of defense where you got the Skitarii or some other kind of foot troopers, you know, kind of playing picket to these guys, which play picket to the knights, etc., etc., etc. So that just gives you an idea. Of course, the rules currently for this are in the Forgebane supplement. It came out with the box set, but I'm sure we will get them soon in the new Knight Codex. So that's it for this one. Another showcase of Shapeways and all the amazing stuff they can do with those 3D upgrade parts for our hobby. Make sure you check out Gadgets Plus over there, but they're not the only seller. There's a whole bunch of folks over there, from Pop Goes the Monkey to Horsepower to a whole bunch more popping up daily and weekly, believe it or not, with all sorts of different variety of products over there. Obviously, search in the science fiction area There may be a 40k Warhammer section. I'm not exactly sure. I Google search pretty much everything, but tons to be had over there. Make sure you check it out, Shapeways, and then of course visit Gadgets Plus as well. Now, if you like these types of product unboxings and builds, make sure to work out those hobby muscles, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you can be the very first to like and comment on all our videos.
Deleted scenes, bonus content, and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. Thelongwar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos.